This morning on The Dish, renowned Greek cookbook author Diane Kochilas sharing secrets of her family's native island, Ikaria, known today for its longevity. About 1 in 3 Ikarians live into their 90s, and a large part of that is because of their flavorful and healthy diets. Kochilas explores them in her new book, The Ikaria Way, and showed us how they can be embraced no matter where you are. So the question is, can you have a good Greek market without a great olive bar?
Όχι. That means no.
Look at that.
For more than 20 years, Diane Kochilas has been sharing Greek culture and cuisine with a global audience.
I think this should be enough for the 3 of us, don't you think?
Oh,
She picked out some of her favorite ingredients at Mediterranean Foods in Queens, New York.
We can't do anything without extra virgin Greek olive oil.
What do you use it on?
Everything. It's the absolute most basic ingredient in all Greek cooking.
Her new cookbook, The Ikaria Way, amplifies key Mediterranean dishes. But this author of more than 20 books about Greek cuisine will be the first to say the Ikaria Way is often about throwing out the instructions.
So one of the secrets here is you don't want to pour all of this in, you kind of want to eyeball it.
She spilled the beans for us. Lemony giant beans, that is.
You should do the olive oil, and you should do it the Greek way.
What's the Greek way?
Put the spout over the dish and close your eyes.
Close my eyes?
Close your eyes and pour.
A generous approach, showing it's sometimes okay to ignore the measuring cup. So you don't eyeball it, you expressly close your eyes.
No, I don't expressly close my eyes, but I wanted to give you the sense of not shying away from the use of olive oil.
That laid-back ethos, integral to Ikaria, a sparse Greek island known for its stunning scenery, rich history, and close-knit villages. But it's best celebrated today for something else. Its people.
I knew I had to find how this island is different than all the rest.
Highlighted by best-selling author and documentarian Dan Buettner as one of the world's 5 blue zones. Residents of Ikaria live exceptionally long lives.
Ikaria is historically remote and relatively impoverished, and yet it has provided this recipe book to longevity. How is that the case?
The recipe isn't always about the food. The recipe is about taking one day at a time, about not stressing out about much. It's about enjoying your time especially with the people you love.
As Kochilas says, Ikaria is the island where people don't live by the clock, yet outlive most of them. Her book emphasizes the Mediterranean diet's contribution to that, with a plant-based approach to well-known recipes.
There's a lot of vegetarian dishes in Greece. Greeks would never call themselves vegetarian because it's such a natural way for us to eat.
Even in meat-based classics, Kochilas finds satisfying substitutions. Her ferry boat spaghetti is topped with cinnamon, allspice, and nutmeg-seasoned lentils instead of a traditional ground beef. The rich and hearty Greek favorite moussaka is made vegan.
This is going to be a little messy. Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm ready for the mess.
Blanketed in a dairy-free bechamel sauce, layers of sweet potato, eggplant, and chickpeas.
I see what you mean by your recipes being a mix of traditional and contemporary.
I wanted to fill the book with recipes that are accessible to people no matter where they are. So these are all ingredients you can pretty much find anywhere.
Also on our table, chickpea stew with honey roasted cauliflower and root vegetables, an eggplant and tomato dish with trahana, an ancient Greek grain, plus jammy Kalamata olives with mixed herbs. A comforting combination of sautéed grains with a bounty of greens is finished with Greek extra virgin olive oil. Its name, in case you forget what makes Ikaria stand out, longevity greens rice. Kochilas balances its fresh flavor with a citrus and mint iced tea, using leaves from the Greek mountainside.
Can you say yamas?
Yamas!
Yamas.
Is that cheers?
That means to our health.
Growing up in New York, Kochilas wasn't always fluent in Greek, but she picked up the culture and some cooking from her father, a professional chef.
I mean, I remember going to the supermarket when I was little with my dad, and we would fill up 2 shopping carts of food.
Ikaria was his homeland. He left as a young man and never got a chance to return before he died when Kochilas was a child. A visit to the island as a teen proved to be a seminal moment.
Knowing that you belong to this place, that you have a village, that to me was one of the greatest gifts my parents ever gave me.
Did you feel that from the moment you stepped foot on the island?
I felt that every single day of my childhood in Queens, looking at a 3D map of Ikaria as the only piece of art on our walls. I felt like it was totally my home.
Even after she returned to the U.S. and eventually became a newspaper reporter, her family's homeland kept calling. And one day in the 1980s, Kochilas realized it had been about a decade since a Greek cookbook was published in English. She decided to give it a try.
I kind of jumped into this book without really knowing what I was doing, but I taught myself to cook while I was writing it. And I would collect recipes in the markets. I'd go and talk to ladies, who were shopping, and I'd say, how do you, what do you do with the spinach, or how do you do this? And I would have our friends over practically every night of the week. And
Testing out recipes.
And it was a really fun year. And then just roll this up.
Today, Kochilas shares the food of Greece as the host of the PBS show, My Greek Table.
And voila, a really easy stuffed grape leaf.
She also splits her time between New York and Ikaria, where she teaches a popular cooking class to visitors from across the U.S.
What does it mean for you to share these dishes from a place you love so much?
For me, it means sharing a way of eating that you can enjoy regardless of where you are. When you share this food with friends or family, you're also giving them something that's healthy, but also something that's delicious.
And full of love.
And full of love.
The food is so fresh,
It's
so
so good.
flavorful. We brought some here for you
can't stop
today.
eating it.
I know, it's
so
really good.
amazing.
I think
It's
yogurt with honey.
delicious. We want to thank our friends at Estiatorio Milos for this wonderful spread. Doesn't it look gorgeous? And I know you've been imbibing on the Greek yogurt with honey over there.
It's good.
I love when she said the recipe isn't only about the food.
I wrote that down.
Yeah, it's like, and then it's about all the other things. By the way, I don't even think that's just Greek culture. So many chefs you talk about, it isn't just what's in the recipe. It's everything that goes around the meal.
Story.
It's the story behind
the
all of
family.
it. Yeah.
And what I
great.
also love about her new book is that it turns these Greek classics, like we mentioned, into these very plant-forward, plant-based recipes. And she uses substitutes like lentils and legumes instead of artificial substitutes, too. So
I'm so
really
happy
good.
right now. This is
Look
easily
at the
one
size
of
of
my
these
favorite cuisines.
gigante beans. They're like
You got the
I know.
gigante
big as
beans.
your hand.
They're truly gigante.
They're gigante.